Hello and good morning, friends. Welcome back. Empires and Puzzles is just full of new surprises. Today we have the Covenant Portal right after the release of the Brave and the Beautiful event yesterday. And with this Covenant Portal comes a brand new character, and it is Mr. Halwinter. Okay, interesting. He's got like sort of, I don't know, spider style leggings. Looks like there's 8 of them. That's okay. Or arms. I'm not sure how you want to look at it. Anyway, this guy is going to be a paladin class, which is obviously going to make him tankier by nature. Reminder of what we're looking at for the Construct family bonus. They do get the Construct core. Construct cores tend to be different. This one most likely has the minion core, but let's take a look. There we go, minion core. This core basically will power up as he takes more damage, and then it says, with a fully charged minion core, summons a killer bot minion with 22% HP and 55% attack inherited from the caster on all allies. The HP and attack inherited from the caster are scaled by the amount of charge on the core. All charge is exhausted when the core is activated. Before the killer bot minion hits a target, it destroys all minions from the target and damages mega minions. Okay, so there you have it. It's going to create minions for everybody, depending on how much power you have in the core. The nice part is, regardless of how much damage these minions are going to swing for, even if they're not fully powered up, they do still have the potential to destroy minions and damage mega minions before they hit. So really, this is kind of a minion control effect on top of giving people a little bit of health shielding as well. All right. Then we also have the passive Empowered Resist special skill blocking. This character is immune to status ailments that prevent the use of special skills. They also gain 450 boosted health and 5% mana each time they resist. So you're not locking this guy down with things like silence or paralyze or other things like that. Now, worth noting, that doesn't save you from things like mindless attack, because mindless attack doesn't prevent you from using your special. It changes your special to something else. So that, unfortunately, will still be an effective way to stop these constructs, but it does stop things like silence, paralyze, possibly sleep as well. I think, yeah, probably sleep as well. Anyway, interesting stuff there. Now, in the 8th power department, we have Taunt. At the start of each battle, this hero gets Taunt that prevents enemies from using special skills for 3 turns. So you do get 3 turns of immediate protection. That's probably most viable in rush formats, but still very useful. All right, and then down here in the special department, we get Soul Guardian. This is going to be activating at average speed. The caster gains Taunt that prevents enemies from using their special skills on caster's allies for 4 turns. Okay, so 4-turn Taunt at average is not awful. The caster counterattacks a random enemy with 120% of the damage received for 4 turns. The caster reduces all received damage by 50% for 4 turns, and the caster is immune to new status ailments for 4 turns. Okay, so we have ourselves a pretty standard package tank here. However, I do want to point out that the way he's designed is pretty positive. So I'm going to give him some kudos for that. So first of all, at average speed, so we're not even dealing with a slow taunt. Or average speed, you're getting Taunt for 4 turns. The caster's reducing all his damage by 50%, so he's going to be taking much less damage while absorbing all the hits. You like that combination. Then he's also counterattacking for more damage than he receives, 120% versus him technically getting 100 in. But in theory, you can look at this more like a bigger tilt, because he's counterattacking first, right? So he's going to do that same amount of damage back that they did to him plus 20%, but then he's also going to reduce the amount he takes by 50% afterwards. So what you're seeing here is a nice flip. If they hit you with, let's just say, 1,000 damage special, right? Well, you're going to return 1,200 damage to them, but because of the ability, you're also only taking 500. So you really ended up dishing out 700 more damage to them than they ended up doing to you. So I think that's the whole concept behind this guy, is he protects your team, but he also creates a funnel in which he is pumping out more damage to the opposing team than he's taking in. You're using their own offensive power against them, which is a very fun concept. The one thing that's interesting about this is it does attack at random too, the counterattack. So I know some of you are saying, well, that's silly. I want them to counterattack who hits them. That makes more sense. Right. But if they get characters who are low on health, and this is the most important part about this, and this is why I love this part. If they have characters low on health, and you have a counterattack hero, they probably say, hey, I'm not going to attack with this character because I could possibly die from the counterattack, right? Well, now that these are going to counterattack an enemy at random, they risk attacking with anyone, right? Because if they have someone low on health that they don't want to die, that person could still get counterattacked if anyone attacks. So it really makes them question, do I attack at all? Like, each attack is a risk to lose the character that I'm worried about losing. I think it's a great preventative measure that will stop them from even considering their attacks while this taunt is up, at the risk of taking out someone that they didn't want to take out. It also says the caster is immune to new status ailments for 4 turns. So Not only are you going to be reducing the amount of damage in, if any of those damages also came with ailments, he is immune to them as well for those 4 turns. Just in general, a very stout and tanky package coming out here. The one thing I will say is, much like every taunter in the game, well, except for I think Oni Wakimaru, he is completely and totally susceptible to dispel, right? So a dispel will eliminate this guy's potential for your team, which sucks because honestly, I think it really makes taunters a lot less viable because they can simply be eliminated as an issue as long as someone saves a taunt to counter their, or saves a dispel to counter their taunt when it comes up. So we have to grade this guy, right? And I'm going to grade him based on his peers. And the reason I say that is because in reality, there's a glaring hole in the fact that a dispel will simply wipe out the potential here, but that's true for pretty much every taunter. So I'm going to rate him against his peers, which would be other taunt heroes at current. I think this guy is pretty darn good. I'm going to give him a solid 8 out of 10. The reason I say that is because he does do a lot of damage funneling and creates a system of returning more damage than taking in. I think that's a recipe for victory and success. The only thing is you got to make sure that you aren't getting dispelled all the time. So this guy's probably fantastic on offensive teams where you can look at the setup and be like, oh, they have no way to dispel. This guy is going to absolutely have a field day with them. So I guess on offense, he's probably a solid 9 as long as you take him against the right team. Defensively, I'm only putting him at an 8 because, again, we all hate it, but dispels will eliminate pretty much all of this guy's potential. All right, so thanks for joining us, guys. I do appreciate having you here doing these reviews, all that fun stuff. Bottom right, there's a little button you can click. If you like what I do, you can subscribe. It makes it easier to find me in the future, and we look forward to doing this again soon. Have a great morning, everyone.